Now that you have added your background and your full-bodied person, we're going to put together a 35-second piece that shows all the different 5 shots, and we're going to start it and end it with some titles. I want you to get in the habit of adding titles. So in order to create 35 seconds, we need to know how many frames we are using. Typically in animation, the correct answer is 24 frames per second, but Adobe Animate actually works more like film, or video I should say. Video usually is 30 frames per second, and that's what this default is when you create a new Animate. When you do a new Animate project here, you'll see that the frame rate right here is 30 frames per second. So if it's 30 frames per second, every second we have 30 frames. In order to create 35 seconds, we need to do 30 frames times 35 seconds. You could always use your calculator to do that. I'll pop open my calculator and I'm going to do 30 times 35. You'll see that we have 1,050. Well, in order to extend our timeline to 1,050, we actually have to go all the way to the end. Mine stops at 528. We're going to have to do this several times, extend the exposure. So for every layer, I'm going to go ahead and click on the very top layer and then scroll down. Let me actually move this up a little bit so we see all the layers. And I'm going to go down to the bottom here. I'll hold Shift on my keyboard. So I've got my finger on Shift and I'll click on the bottom layer. Now all of these frames are selected. We have to extend the exposure. The easiest, fastest way, if you can learn this, is using F5. F5 is a function on your keyboard. If you look down at your keyboard at the very top, you should have a row of stuff. On a Mac keyboards, the ones that you have in class are the wireless ones. You'll see that they have like increase the brightness on your screen, or lower, or increase the sound. It also says F1, F2, F3, F4, F5. But in order to access the F functions, the F stands for functions, in the very bottom left of your keyboard, on some keyboards it says FN, but on your keyboard that you see in class, it's going to have a picture of a world, like a globe. Very bottom row, very far left. You're going to press and hold that down. I'm holding mine down, and then I'm going to press F5, and that is going to extend the exposure. But now we need to, again, get to 1,050. So since I extended the exposure to as far right as I can go, I could use my slider, I could use my mouse or trackpad to slide all the way to the right. Now I'm at 1,050. You may have to do it more than that, I don't know. But again, you're clicking the top, the frame of the very top layer, holding Shift, clicking the very bottom layer. We select all that, hold that world globe in the bottom left-hand corner, and press F5. We've extended our exposure. We now have 35 seconds. Now go all the way to the starting. Make sure you're clicked on the top layer. We're going to add 2 more layers. One we're going to do right now. I'll talk about it later, but click on plus layer and rename that. Notice all my layers are named. Yours should be too. We're going to rename that titles. Okay, and then above that you're going to add a camera layer. So up here we have that little camera you've learned about recently. Add the camera layer. That is available. You will also need to extend the exposure on these 2 layers here. I've went too far. Hold on one second. Now of course you're just going to do that on your own right there. Shift click, function, F5 right there. I've extended the exposure. Go ahead and do that and then move on to the next video.